Why don't we just start by taking a phone call here, which we don't normally do. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, Mark made in.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Okay, you're not on yet. Still got Ken Echols Star News Live on a
It,
screen.
it'll be there before you know it. We'll be popping up there. We will.
Okay, now you're popping up. Yeah, okay. Uh, anyway, where am I saying at now? I know everybody had a five with Carol Larson last time. So where am I saying at now?
A lot of people had fives. Mark, you are number five. You're in fifth place. You got 312 points. You're 35 points off the lead in fifth place.
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah. A few weeks ago when I sent stuff to Donald Trump, I sent him a birthday card, which I told you about that. And then I sent him another card before then too, just a regular card. It was a business card that had a paper clip in it, so they probably picked up on that when I sent that letter too.
If they detected metal, that would have gotten their attention. Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, I wrote him a letter. I told him I wanted him to release the John Lennon files too when he does JFK and Martin Luther King and all them. He ought to release the John Lennon files.
Well, that would be interesting. Maybe the president will follow your suggestion and do that, Mark. I'd like to see those files.
Oh yeah, because they said the movie came out, it was called The U.S. versus John Lennon, and then he ended up dying. Somebody shot him. So I was wondering, about like the JFK and all that other stuff, whatever.
Well, maybe we'll get to see those files at some point, Mark. It would be an interesting read, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Ken.
Well, thanks for calling, Mark. Good to hear from you. By the way, welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Echols, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. We have that phone number that you can call, as Mark already did. Also, the email address you can use, it's keneckleslive@gmail.com. And yes, it is hot in here. Somebody asked me, does it get hot in there in the summer? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it gets hot in here in the summer. It's not so bad until I turn on the lights, and the lights warm it up a little bit. It's warm. These are warm days. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Good evening.
Let's get down to business.
All right. Right straight to business. No foolishness.
No, sir. No beating around the bush.
All right. Go ahead.
Where am I in the standings?
Number 6. You are in 6th place with 301 points, 46 points off the lead.
Where I want to be.
That's where you want to be? Then that's where you are. Congratulations.
Yeah. Did you find that picture?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I found the picture of the Undertaker belt. That's pretty impressive.
Okay. You think you can be able to show it to the rest of them, if you can?
I don't have the technology to show it here. I'll tell what we'll do. I can email it to Martinsville, and or you can email it to Martinsville. I'll email it to Martinsville.
Yeah, you do it.
Then we'll be able to show it. I can't show it here. I wish I could.
It looks nice, don't it?
Oh yeah, that's a very nice looking belt. What? And that's what? Tell me what that's made of. Is that metal, leather, and metal?
It's I know the belt is leather. It's made of leather. The belt is. Yep. It's very nice constructed. Too bad the Undertaker can't have it no more.
Well, yeah, there is, of course, a time limit on all of us, the amount of time that we can wear our favorite clothing. And so he can't wear that now. And well, you're not going to wear it either. I guess anybody's going to wear it.
No, they're not. They put it on I'll send them to their grave early.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to just let you keep that and any details about that to yourself. We'd rather not know. But the belt is very impressive. Thanks for sending that picture.
Oh, you're welcome. And the thing is, too bad the dead man can't come and get it because he knew better.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
All
taking.
right.
I'm,
Yeah,
take,
I'll go with that.
I'm taking a cheap shot at him.
Cheap shot at the dead. Well, uh, at least you don't have to worry about him taking a shot back.
Well, he's still alive. I heard he had open heart surgery, so I don't think he's going to be in any condition to argue with me.
Probably not. And we have too much argument in the world already. So that's just as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw a cheap shot at the Undertaker just for the fun of it.
Well, yeah. If you can't throw a cheap shot, what can you throw? So there you are, top 6 with 3 races left in this segment. We've got Atlanta, we've got the Chicago Street Race, and we've got Sonoma.
Well, I think the next race is going to be on one of the normal channels now.
Yeah, the prime races are finished. They'll be back to, I think it's TNT, the next one.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and make my pick for Atlanta.
All right, Charles from Danville for Atlanta picks who?
The Watermelon Man.
Charles picks Ross Chastain for Atlanta. It's in the book.
Well, everybody better remember, they're going to be eating rubber and sand from the car. They're going to be
eating rubber and sand.
Yeah, all they're going to do is see the back of the car. And folks, call it a day.
Okay, there we go.
Bye, sir.
Thanks for calling. So the one, Ross Chastain, is the first pick for Atlanta by Charles from Danville. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm hoarse. I guess maybe there's something different in the air now that I'm allergic to, which is causing me to become hoarse. Hoarse. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Ken. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Just the heat's just getting to everybody, I reckon.
It's a little bit warm. It is.
Yep. I'm just going to take you number 12 this week at Atlanta.
Okay. Leon takes the 12 for Atlanta. Leon, you're now by yourself in 4th place. And you are, let me see here, you are 29 points out of first.
Okay, that's all right. I don't care.
Well, you've come a long way these last 4 weeks, and we'll see where the 12 can take you.
All right, then. You have a good evening, Ken.
Well, thanks, Leon. Good to hear from you. So Leon had 12 for Atlanta. Top 3, still in order, Mr. Leaksville, Mr. Pelham, and Mr. Draper, and they're kind of bunched up. Mr. Leaksville at 347, Mr. Pelham 337, Mr. Draper 332. Then Leon is 4th with 318. Mark is 5th with 312. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Well, you got the book open. Just put me down for the 24 this coming week.
All right. Mr. Pelham chooses the 24 for Atlanta. All your picks are important now. You're 10 points out of first place.
Yeah, I'm going to have to keep my strategy going to the last race, and then I'm going to have to pick the final winner, I hope.
We will see. The next three races will decide.
I just hope the Civic group has got a car in the race on the last race.
Oh, God. All right, we got to ask, have you been able to contact Civic yet?
Oh, yeah, I did. I got in touch with them yesterday, probably about 2:30. and the lady couldn't really tell me anything, but she said that they would call my house number within the next working day. And as of yet, I hadn't received a call. So what does that tell you?
Well, it strikes me that all the calls you've made and everything you've tried to do and all the effort that you've gone through trying to contact him, it turns out you get them on a Sunday afternoon of all days.
Exactly. And needless to say, the recording that I got was due to the high volume of calls today. Yeah. You know
All
how
right.
that works.
You can count on, here are two things you can count on. One, we are currently experiencing higher than normal call volume. You can count on that one. The other one you can count on is listen closely as our menu options have changed.
You are so right, Ben. Yeah, you can definitely count on those two for sure.
So we know they're always experiencing higher than normal call volume, and they're always changing the menu choices.
Exactly. I don't care if it's Sunday evening or it's midnight or 3 o'clock in the morning, you're going to get those same recordings every time.
Well, good luck. I hope they'll call you back sometime.
Yeah, well, I did get some good news today. I did get my state employees credit union checks in the mail, and I was really glad to see them. So hopefully, before the week's out, I'll find something definite on that one. So we'll see how that works out.
Now, Civic's not involved in that, are they?
No, I hope not. No, not to my knowledge. No.
All right.
No.
Well, I think probably at this point, the less civic involvement, the better.
Exactly. If they do put a car in the race, Ken, I hope it's the number 0. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I hope.
I don't know if you've heard the latest or not, but Trump came out on his Truth Social or whatever this evening about 6:30 and said that Iran and Israel has a ceasefire supposed to start. Iran's supposed to start theirs tonight at midnight, and Israel's supposed to start theirs tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that. I hope that will hold true.
I do too, Ken. I mean, with Trump, you can never tell. 9 times out of 10, when he says one thing, the opposite happens. But, that's just one of those political things that kind of rules the roost nowadays.
Well, I know Netanyahu said yesterday, I guess it was, that Israel was very, very close to accomplishing its objectives in Iran. So that sort of sounded like they were willing to accept a ceasefire. And the Iranian, of course, the Iranians, they lost the missiles in our air base, but they called ahead of time to let us know they were coming. So that sounded like maybe they're willing to let things settle down. So let's hope that'll happen.
Yeah. I'm sure all the people on the right, Ken, are going to be giving Trump total credit for ending all the problems with Iran. I'm sure that's the way they'll spin it. But, the way I look at it, too, with this happening the way it's going down, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if he gets his big new bill passed through because, after his parade and, this attack in Iran, he's going to be the best thing since sliced bread, according to them people. But I tend to differ with him, Ken. It looked like to me Trump had just pretty much castrated the whole Republican Congress. Anything he wants, he gets, all the way as far up to the Supreme Court. You see how they ruled on that today with deportations. So, I mean, the man is slowly but surely becoming a dictator, and why people cannot see it, I will never understand it.
Well, he's getting some resistance from Republicans on the big beautiful bill. So I don't know if that's a sure thing at this point. It may turn out to be, but there are some Republicans who don't like it very much.
Oh, I know they don't like it, Ken. It's like Tillis and all the rest of them. They don't like it, but when it comes time for a vote, They always agree on what he wants. That's what irritates me about it. But that's just politics.
Well, politics is politics. I'm sorry to say, that's how it works politically. But there are some Republicans voted against it. It only passed the House by one vote, so it wasn't unanimous among Republicans.
One is as good as 100 on a situation like that, Ken.
Well, yeah, it is. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is I don't think it's a slam dunk at this point, because some of the Republicans who voted for it in the House have said the changes the Senate is making would cause them to vote against it. Now, I understand your point is that they'll say they'll vote against it, but they won't really vote against it. And you may be right, but I think that remains to be seen.
Well, you were talking last week about that $4,000 tax credit for the House and $6,000 from the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
I did a little research on it, and that thing, it's not in the bill at all. No shape, form, or fashion. So they can talk it, but if it's not in the bill, it's not going to do anybody any good for a tax break other than the filthy rich.
Well, no, it's not in there now. It's something that's being discussed in the Senate, the 6,000 and the 4,000 in the House. And the bill's not written yet.
Right.
I mean, it's the House version was written, but when that goes to the Senate, that doesn't count. It's got to be rewritten by the Senate. And if the Senate rewrites it, then the House has got to rewrite it again. So
Exactly.
all that stuff is under discussion, and it may never be in the bill, but just because it's not in there now doesn't mean it won't be.
That's true, too. You're exactly right. All right, Ken, thanks so much for taking my call, man. I really enjoy your show.
Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Phone line's open at that number up there. You can also email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. Excuse me. And we'd love to hear from you either way, by phone or by email on this edition of Star Talk. Let's see the standings. Where were we? Charles and Danville, number 6 with 301. Chat GPT moved up a little bit to number 7 with 296 points. Early Bird is number 8 with 294. The Lady in Black, 9th with 293. Jack is 10th with 254, and that's the top 10. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
All right, I just want to see where am I standing at right now?
Number 8. You're in 8th place.
I moved up one spot, doesn't I? Coming in second.
You gained a spot to number 8.
Yeah, yep, sure did. Well, old Trump done it, didn't he? Went over them bunker busters and he told them. He done told them.
Well, yeah, he told them, and yeah, they did it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Of course, I can't think of his name. General, is it Kane? Anyway,
I don't know. I can't remember them people.
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff says it's too early to know for sure what the results were, but he did say there was clearly severe damage to the Iranian facilities. Yeah. So it's certainly going to be a setback to some extent for him.
Well, I'll tell you what, it should have been done 2 presidents ago.
Well, 2 presidents ago, they were...
I'm talking about Obama and Biden. They should have went over and done it before Trump did, but Trump went on over and done it.
Well, and then, yep, it's done. Let's hope it works out for the best.
Well, I doubt if we'll ever be here to find out, Ken.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, we're not going to be here to find out how it all ends. But I think we will be able to follow it maybe a few more years.
Yeah, Biscuitville will still be opening, and Burger King will too, and Hardee's, and life will go on.
without us.
That's right.
All right. Well, let's not
That's
rush. Let's not rush that.
Oh, I don't want to leave time no soon either, but about time all this stuff, we ain't gonna be here. I mean, the Lord can take this world away from in a second.
Well, that's true. I mean, we may not even finish this show for all we know.
That's exactly right.
But as long as we're here, let's just hope for the best. That's what we'll
Yeah.
do. Let's hope
I
for
mean,
the best in this situation.
exactly right. But he done what he said. He told him. He tried to get him to get peace. But I don't know what's going to happen after this. But I don't know. And Basil, he took over that place where he got married at. Boy, they all mad about that. All them people going over there, they trying to take over whatever name that country he went to have his wedding.
You've lost me.
No, that guy that's a billionaire or whatever, bald-headed guy.
Bezos.
Bezos.
The Amazon guy. Okay, now I know.
Yeah. They raised a cane about that. All them tourists coming over there. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, well.
What money can do? Money make people go crazy. I believe it much money.
Well, you're exactly right. When somebody like Bezos walks into town, that's going to draw a crowd, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'll just tell you, I believe they got more money than they got seats.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that.
Well, I'll get off from here and let somebody else call in. I don't know who I'm gonna pick right now, but
okay. Well,
where they racing at next week?
Atlanta.
Yep. Okay, you'll be on tomorrow, and we.
Yes, I
not
will.
unless something happens. Not unless something happens. But I hope nothing don't happen.
Now,
okay, I'll let you go, buddy.
Well, thanks.
Talk to you later.
Thanks for calling. More money than they've got sense. Yep, that's. I think he thinks he got that about right. Phone line is open at that number. The email address, KenEcclesLive@gmail. Yeah, that's right. KenEcclesLive@gmail.com. And this emailer says, okay, well, we'll get back to this one in a second, because I'm not quite sure what to make of that one. I may never figure out what to make with that one, but I do understand this one. And it says, Ken, what was the temperature today at the hottest part that you have heard? The temperature today at the hottest part that I have heard was 98. 98 is the, I don't know if that was the official, but I've got a thermometer. Everybody's got a thermometer, and you'll get a different reading depending on where you put it. My thermometer read 98, and that was in the shade. If I move it out into the sun, I can probably get a little more than that. But mine read 98 at the high point this afternoon. So that's the warmest that I know of. I don't know yet. I got a little thing up here. Sometimes they put the official. No, nope. I don't know what the official high is. I know whatever it was warm. Emailer says, Ken, this is Citizen D. Am I still in front of the liberal and pretty man? I'll tell you in a second. Please put me down in the great book for the 20 this week. Citizen D has the 20 for Atlanta. Since he's brought up the standings, let's go ahead and finish out the standings here. We had Jack in 10th place. Citizen D, what do you know? Citizen D is 11th with 247. Mr. NASCAR, Captain Midnight is 12th with 245. Mr. NASCAR is 13th with 244. The Liberal has moved up a notch to 14th. The Liberal has sole possession of 14th now with 232 points. And on the bottom, in last place, all by himself, with no one there with him. Final place is Pretty Man with 219 points. So I'm going to note that without comment. There's no need for me to bother to say that I predicted that Pretty Man would soon be by himself in last place. So I'm not even going to mention that. I'll just let that stand. So there we are. Now let's finish Citizen D's email. Also, have we heard from Briscoe on his phone? My dad's Brightspeed phone is back to working after being out for 4 to 5 days. Last we heard from Briscoe on the phone is that it's off again, but Brightspeed said they were going to come and look at it on July 16th. So that's what Briscoe is waiting for. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Ken, this is Jerry. I'd just like to say, one time one of my providers took me to Schultz to get a air conditioner, which I paid cash for, and I wanted that chair, and I tried to get it on credit, and I couldn't. So the guy that wrote the chair up for me, he stood there and laughed at me like he thought it was funny. But I think I'm getting magazines that comes to the house. I can buy anything I want on time. I think I'm about $5,000 in debt and $500 in debt for my coin collection. But the point is, I got credit. I can buy me whatever I want, and I got the money to pay it off because I get 2 checks and it's split up, and my checks is split up 3 ways. And thanks for taking my call, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Good to hear from you, and I'm glad that you are have things in good order financially. Let me finish Citizen D's email here. He says, last thing, all of this political talk and hatred for Trump on one side and hatred for Dems from the other side is a waste of time. What we need to be concerned about is why the local politicians are not reducing property taxes given the revaluations that we had. Obviously, the county is taking in more money and wasting it on items not needed when they could lower our property tax rates. Well, Citizen D, you're not the first person. You're not the first person who's raised that point. I know when they did the revaluation, I think most people expected, and I guess I was one of them, expected that the rate would be reduced. I didn't think it would be reduced to totally compensate for the revaluation, because I understand things get more expensive. There was some inflation there for a while, in case you didn't notice, and the county certainly needs to increase its revenue over the years, because stuff costs more. So, I understand why they said it, so that they had a revenue increase. Don't begrudge them that. I thought, though, they would set it a little lower than they did, and clearly Citizen D thought they would set it a little lower than they did, and pretty much 100% of the people that I've talked to about it thought they would set it a little lower than they did, but they didn't. And I guess I'm sort of lucky. I shouldn't complain too much, because when it's all said and done, my property tax went up well, I'm going to tell you how much it went up. But it didn't go up. It didn't go up as. There are people whose property tax went up quite a bit more than mine did. So I didn't get hit though. But I think we all got hit a little bit. And I'm sure that the commissioners, as time goes by and meetings come and go, will be questioned about that. Hello, caller. You're on the air, please. Hello, caller.
Hello?
You're on the air.
Ken,
Yes.
Briscoe from Hospital.
Hey, Briscoe.
I tried to call you 2 minutes ago on the house phone, Brightspeed, and said that you were not available. And I called back, and you answered. I just thought I'd tell you that, as far as I know, this is the first time I've tried to use my house phone, Brightspeed.
Well, it didn't work. Or is it?
Well, first call didn't, second call did.
Okay, so 1 for 2. I thought they weren't going to fix it till July 16th. Did they show up early?
That's what I heard, but I haven't heard anything from anybody. But I'll let you go with it.
Okay, hang on. So your phone works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't work. Is that it?
Well, I called you the first time and said you were not available, or somebody was not available. And I called back, hung up, called back the second time, and I got through to you.
Was I on another call when you called?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, anyway, you got through on your house phone, so I guess that's a good sign.
That's a good sign in case I have an emergency or anything.
All right. Well, I'm glad it's. I guess I'm glad it's working.
Well, I hope it is. It might not be 5 minutes from now, but who knows?
Well, good luck, Briscoe.
Thank you, Ken. Good night.
Thanks for calling. All right, Citizen D was asking about Briscoe. So there's our update. They had told Briscoe last week that they wouldn't be able to get anybody out there until July 16th. But now his phone has worked once in 2 attempts. So gosh, I guess we don't know for sure exactly what is the status of Briscoe's phone now, but he did get through with it. So that's got to be a good sign. And Briscoe, let's hope that continues. Let's hope. Hello, Ken. I want to say something about Trump and the Iranians. The Iranians were just a few days, maybe, or a few weeks away from getting an atomic weapon. And if we had not attacked and destroyed that research facility, the next thing we know, they would have had an atomic bomb to give to the terrorists that they support. Because Trump made the decision to send the Air Force and to destroy those facilities, now Iran will not have that atomic bomb. So whatever else anybody wants to say, about Trump, and I know somebody's going to say something bad about him, there is not any question of a doubt that he has stopped the Iranians from continuing to build a nuclear weapon. That is as plain as day, and people need to give him credit for it. All right, emailer, thank you very much. This one says, Ken, how come when you go online to rent space at the beach, how come when you go online to rent space at the beach and you will see a thing that says something like $500 a night, and then you try to reserve it for 4 nights, and then all of a sudden the bill is $3,000? That makes no sense. We'll get back to that in a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good evening, Ken.
Good evening.
How about we give him credit for being an aggressor and initiating an act of war?
Well, that's what some people in Congress want to give him credit for.
Well, that's exactly what happened, is it not?
He did initiate a military action against Iran, yes.
Okay, so he is an aggressor, and he initiated a war, plain and simple.
Okay.
And I think people have lost sight of that, and they want to get caught up in this. Iran can't have a weapon of that nature because they'd give it to the terrorists. Well, that's an assumption. There's nothing to base that on. But when you sit here and say they're too dangerous to have a nuclear weapon, I challenge you to tell me why the other nations that have one aren't just as dangerous.
Well, they are. I mean, if you want to really get down to cases, nobody should have nobody should be trusted with a nuclear weapon.
At this stage of the game, I don't think the current president of this country is any more stable with a nuclear weapon than anybody else in this world, because he's demonstrated he's not a stable individual.
Well, you would acknowledge, though, wouldn't you, that as far as we know, over the years, we have not sponsored terrorism to the extent that the Iranians have. Would you agree with that?
No.
Okay.
I would not. The only thing I would agree with is that you're not aware of, and if you think for 1 second, that this country, through various agencies, recognized and unrecognized, has not done that type of stuff, you are sadly mistaken. Sir, when I served in the United States Army in 1971, there was a detachment that wore BDUs that carried no insignia and no name tag. And they went places we were told they weren't there. And they did things we were told they didn't do.
Sure.
When it turns out we did them. So no, sir.
Well,
for someone to think the CIA is not capable of doing the exact same thing, I say you got to think again.
Well, I understand that we have done things. I understand we overthrew the democratically elected government of Iran. I understand we did the same thing in Chile a couple of decades later. Certainly, we've done things like that.
Let me remind you. Let's talk about the Iran-Contra scandal. You want that?
Well, what do you want to say about it?
Well, what was our involvement in that?
Our involvement was that we provided the Iranians with the weapons, in particular anti-aircraft missiles, that they eventually used against us.
And why did we provide it to them?
Because we wanted to help the Contras in Central America.
So please, don't sit here and tell me that this country is all sweet, clean, innocent, and wearing a white shirt.
Nope, wouldn't tell you that. Would not tell you that. But I would say that there are terrorist actions that take place. The most obvious being 9/11, and there have been others which are sponsored by certain countries for political ends, which I think are not do not excuse anything that we have ever done, but I think are more destructive and more hurtful of people than things that we have done. Would you agree with that or not?
No.
Okay.
Let's talk about Oklahoma City.
All right. Well, we didn't. Our government didn't do that. That was done by a crazy man.
That was an act of terrorism, right?
It certainly was.
And it's just as brutal as any of the rest of this.
Well, I agree with that, but that wasn't sponsored by our government, though.
Right. The point being that let's not go around here acting like we're some kind of goodly in this world and we're taking care of all the baddies in this world, when the truth is we're just as batty, and in fact, we're the one attacking them. They weren't attacking us. And I've said to you before, I don't understand why we cannot acknowledge that somebody has the same right to a weapon to defend themselves as somebody else has already. But I'll leave you with this thought. Ken.
Okay.
Do a little research, if you will, folks. Take a look at Germany in the early 1930s. And then let's talk about parallels between what history shows took place there and what exactly is taking place in this country today.
Okay.
Just give that one a little ride and give that a little exercise, because I tell you, the parallels that you will see are scary.
All right. Well, thank you.
And have a good evening.
You too. Thanks for calling. Phone line is open at that. Our email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you either way, by phone or by email. What was that email? Oh, yeah. How come you try to rent space at the beach? It says it's $500 a night, and then you reserve it for 4 nights, and the bill is $3,000. 4 nights at $500, that's $2,000. But why do you have to pay an extra $3,000 beyond the $500 a night? Oh gosh. They obviously, well, I mean, there are hidden fees, charges that they don't include. There's stuff they don't show you when they put that $500 a night up there, because if they showed you all that, then you would never click on it. You just move on to somewhere else. The $500 a night is just to rope you in. And then once you get roped in and you look at all the pictures, you look at the pictures of the place, and you see pictures of the beach, and you see this wonderful leather couch that is in the place, and there's this big TV on the wall, and there's this well-equipped kitchen that's going to be yours for these 4 days and nights at the beach. And you're just thinking, oh, what a wonderful place this is. They do it so they make sure that you've seen all that stuff, and then you look at what you're going to be billed, and then you realize that there's another $1,000 in cleaning fees and agreement stipulations and who knows what else. Service charges, all that stuff is there now, but they hope that they've already had you hooked after you've looked at the pictures of the place, so you will just skip right along and pay the $3,000 for 4 nights and a $500 a night accommodation. That's what they hope for, and maybe that's what you do. I think a lot of people do that. I get the feeling from the email that the emailer maybe didn't do that, but you know, that's the way it works, folks. The initial pitch, the initial $500 pitch is to sell you, and then if you wanna go through with the extra $1,000, that's up to you. Emailer says, bless Charles Hart. I can sell him 10 Undertaker belts for $395 each. Fewer are $450 each. All belts for sale are aftermarket unless you pay upwards of $30,000. Trump does exactly what he says he's going to do. People should realize that by now. He's doing exactly what he said he would do if elected. Parade was for the Army, not his birthday or Vance's anniversary or Flag Day, only to celebrate 250 years and before the U.S. was established. When one has too much money, they get bored with life and normal things in life and such. Then they build rockets and play with big boy toys. LOL. The Brightspeed fiber optic line is actually fragile. I can bend it and snap it in one hand, and it breaks inside so easily. If it snaps during burial or installation, you will have problems later, and that's it. The countries with nukes are not loose cannons like Iran. Iran has sworn to hate and kill Jews. With a nuke, half the world won't sleep. Common sense tells you this. Thank you, emailer. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken.
Hello.
Look, first of all, put me down for number 5, please.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Let me find my pen.
Okay.
All right, I got it. Liberal has number 5. for
Right.
Atlanta. You got to stay ahead of Pretty Man.
Man, that's a job called Pretty Man is a genius. That's a job.
That's what he says.
Well, look, Ken, concerning this midnight raid now, I understand that with 4 B-12 bombers, B-2 bombers, okay, and they had 17 Buster
Bunker
bombs,
busters. Yeah.
Buster, and 125 jets. And I'm not counting the missiles that was fired from the ships. But anyway, I understood that combined effort would cost up in the trillions of dollars.
Well,
Now,
I haven't heard that. I know it's not cheap.
No, those 30,000 pounds bombs was quite as expensive each, you know.
I'm sure they were.
But my question is, who will pay for this? U.S. or Israel?
Well, obviously, the United States of America pays for its weapons. We have military contractors who build these things, and we pay for them. That's how it works.
All right. And if this bring Israel back to make a deal, I mean, if this bring Iran back to the table to make a deal with Iran, with inspectors, this was what Obama had when Trump canceled the deal 7 years ago.
That is true. President Trump did cancel it 7 years ago.
So we are right back where if we get a deal done now, we're right back where we were 7 years ago, you know? And so another thing about this is I'm puzzled when Trump intelligence say one thing and the Israel intelligence said another, and the president chooses Israel intelligence because Trump intelligence had testified to Congress that Iran wasn't close to a weapon, you know?
Well, yeah. Her name has left. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, said that Iran was farther away than most people thought they were from developing a nuclear weapon. She did say that, and the president is not happy with her for saying that. And you're right. The Israeli intelligence said something different. That is true.
Right. And see, one time he chose Russia intelligence over ours. So, I mean.
Well, let me point out something that I haven't heard anybody talk very much about. The deal that was signed with the Iranians in 2015. I think most of those protocols, most of those things that were agreed to had sunset provisions. And in general, they sunset in 10 years. So whether the President Trump had pulled us out of that agreement or not 7 years ago, we would be in a position right now of having to renegotiate a deal because many of them would be expiring this year.
Right. Well, we'd probably have about 2 to 3 years left, and we'll be in the process of negotiating a deal without the expense of this midnight raid, you know?
Well, maybe so. I don't know. Maybe so.
Yeah. And say, number one, before I hear people talk to accomplishment, just like you said, nothing has been verified about the destruction of this past weekend raid. the generals and other them can say. He said that the place was obliterated, but no inspection has been done to verify the damage of this last weekend raid. Okay.
Well, that's true, and U.S. intelligence also says we don't know. They had a stockpile of 60% enriched uranium, which was the big thing that they had.
That's right.
Make a weapon. U.S. intelligence says we don't know where that is, or whether it was destroyed, or whether they still have it. So I guess we don't know.
Right. There was one account that said. Now, it's not verified, and I'll try to make it clear. It's not verified, but one account was given a while back that when Israel started bombing Iran started moving that 60% nuclear uranium to other sites. Had you heard that?
Yeah, I have heard that. And we have to remember, most of the stuff is inside a mountain. We can't see inside the mountain.
Right.
So nobody who is not standing inside that mountain can say with 100% certainty what's in there and what's not. We don't know.
Right.
But based on the general circumstances and elements from satellite photographs and other things that go into these things, it seems, based on everything I've heard, it seems reasonable to conclude that there has been certainly significant damage to Iran's capabilities.
Correct. Well, see, that's why I watch Star Talk, because when you listen to Ken Eckers, you're going to get the facts. Except in the case of Pretty Man. Okay, I think you got that wrong.
Well, we'll see about that. I wish I knew all the facts. I would like to be able to tell you right now exactly what happened inside that mountain. I mean, I don't know. I have to just base it on what the people who make a living doing these things tell me. And based on what they tell me, we had a very significant effect on what they can do. If we didn't totally destroy it, we certainly damaged it.
But we don't know what's been moved, and we don't know the extent of the damage. As you said, if you're not inside that mountain.
That's true. We don't.
All right, Ken. Thanks a lot, and I enjoy your show.
Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Hello, caller. You're on the air. We got about one. Hello, caller.
Yes.
You're on the air.
Reuters says the Iran attack cost between $80 and $100 million.
All right. That's
okay.
I had not heard a dollar figure.
Nowhere. I just looked it up. Nowhere near a trillion. It's not even near a billion.
Okay.
You know, it's not even near a billion. So people believe anything they hear, I guess, these days.
Well, thanks for the information, and that is all the time we have for Star Talk tonight. Well, wait a minute. Caller, we got about 30 seconds. What do you want to say?
Ken, this is Briscoe Ian. I apologize for calling the second time, but I just wanted to say something about a strange classified ad I saw in the Greensboro Record.
Okay.
For past several days.
What's it?
Somebody's got a 5-gallon bucket full of pennies for sale. All were collected prior to 1974.
How much are they asking? What are they asking for it?
That's all the classified ad said. Did not mention the price or anything.
Wow. Okay, well, thanks, Briscoe. That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it might be. Thank you very much for taking my call again.
Thank you. A 5-gallon bucket full of pennies, all of them from before 1974. So we can all ponder that for a while, because that's all the time we have tonight. Star Talk is on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Echols.